The pit stop is vital to every race team's success. Pull off the track, let your team go to work.
Outside, clear.
Change all 4 tires, fill the fuel cell, and make needed adjustments, all in 8 seconds or less.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching or listening to the program. This Pits Are Open, brought to you by Speed Sport, your one-stop shop for all automotive and racing news. Speedsport.com, speedsport1.com. Also brought to you by Redline Ace, your one-stop shop for all racing graphics, located in Speedway, Indiana, right minutes from the classic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm your host, Will Marotti. Alex Smith, our producer, engineer. And we got a great show for you today. We had a little technical difficulty, which caused us to be a few minutes late. But it's been a fast and furious weekend. And I got to tell you, I can't believe the disaster in Phoenix. I only watched two NASCAR races this year, Daytona 500 and Sunday. And, boy, I'll tell you, people are not happy. But it's what many of us have been saying for a long, long time. This is the monster that NASCAR has created. And now they're living with the result of it. And I think they're getting ready to hit the panic button, talking about pulling the – and oddly enough, Larson not only won the championship by virtue of the race Sunday, Larson also, if they still had season-long points, Larson would have been the season-long points champion. So, I mean, I guess there's some justice there. But anyway, it was a sad day for Denny Hamlin. We're going to jump right into our first guest. I got to tell you, I'm so excited because – he was with us a few months ago. We had the really classic book, Indy Split, which details painfully how, we had the divorce in IndyCar and lasted for a number of years, and how, for one, NASCAR capitalized on the diminishing audience and scooped up some of the folks that were many-year IndyCar fans. Well, he's out with a brand-new book. It's called The Class of '99. And I want to talk about it, and I'm so happy to welcome John Oreovich back to the program. John, thank you for coming back.
Hi, Will. Thanks for having me. It's great to be with you.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on NASCAR because I'm an IndyCar guy at heart. But what did you think of the debacle in Phoenix? I mean,
yeah. I thought that they had an unsatisfactory resolution to 3 of their championships, and it was a kind of a Hail Mary miracle that they did get a rightful guy winning the championship in Corey Heim in trucks.
Right.
I feel terrible for Connor Zilisch because he dominated that season. I feel bad for Denny Hamlin and just in kind of a sentimental way because he's running out of chances. But I don't think you can really argue against Larson not being a fair champion in the sense of Logano last year. Certainly Larson had a stronger overall season. And I think it's been pointed out that if you did it the traditional old 36 race method, Larson would have emerged as the champion. But they made their bed. This is the format that they wanted. They hoped for moments like this. And I don't think that NASCAR really anticipated the kind of backlash they might get from moments like this.
Do you think this will help IndyCar at all? I mean, certainly IndyCar served up a lot of fans to NASCAR during the split years. Do you think there's a little reverse happening here, a little deja vu maybe in reverse, and we might pick up some NASCAR fans that who rightfully are IndyCar fans?
I think there's an opening there, and I think the question is whether at this point IndyCar is willing enough to be aggressive and really try and put the investment into really trying to grow things right now. It's unfortunate they're at a point where they don't have, other than this new Texas race, they don't have a whole lot to crow about. They don't have a new car. They don't have, the biggest thing they've got going for them, I think, is the fact that Will Power has switched teams, and there's an intriguing storyline there. But yeah, I mean, they've got a big hole they can drive through. Let's see if they're willing and able to do it.
Well, I think the best thing I got going for him really is Fox, because we saw an instant jump in ratings with Fox. Now, I hope Fox stays out of it and doesn't start talking Penske into going to stages and playoffs. That would be like, I'm done at that point. I'm just going to watch midget racing from that point on. But I think there's an opportunity here if Penske is smart and Fox plays it the right way and they pay attention to what the fans really want and what the fans love. I mentioned to you off camera. I always do this with books. I always buy them first on Kindle, and then I read. And if I like what I'm reading, I'll go ahead and get the book. So I just got your hard copy
I
of your book
appreciate that.
yesterday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I got to tell you, It's a great read. I'm fascinated with it. You did an amazing job in terms of research. And it really, 25 years is a long time. 25 years, almost 26 years ago.
Yeah.
You forget a lot of things. And boy, the things that you're bringing out in this book, I'm like, oh yeah. It's just one thing after another. So what was the genesis? What was the impetus to write the book in the first place, John?
I think it was hard. It was, the difficult second album type thing, to follow up the Split book. But I started thinking, what are some of the greatest things that you've seen over this, professional career of following and covering IndyCar racing? And the 99 kart season, it just kept coming back to me just because so many guys that went on to dominate the sport for the next 20 years really emerged that year. And of course, we remember it for a tremendous championship battle. You can't get any closer than a tie. But we think about the championship, we think about the emergence of a new generation, but mostly we think about the guys we lost, Greg Moore and Gonzalo Rodriguez, and the potential and the promise that they had. Rodriguez doesn't get his due, but he was a very successful driver. He was running second in the Formula 3000 championship at the time he was killed, and Formula 3000 is the equivalent of today's Formula 2, where Colton Herta is going to race next year. But Greg Moore, the more you know about him, the more you understand what a loss it was for IndyCar racing and motorsport as a whole. Just a unbelievably gifted young driver with the kind of swashbuckling charisma that I think IndyCar is lacking in its modern stars. But at the same time, a guy that didn't let his early success and the fact that he was going to Penske the next year and everything, he stayed humble. It didn't go to his head. Yeah. And he just set such a great example for not just his fellow drivers, but everybody who was a fan of the right way to live your life.
I kind of felt like when Greg passed, and then when Dan Weldon passed, I felt there was in both cases, I felt there was an unusually large void created. I mean, it's horrible when anyone goes. I mean, I remember back in the early days in Indy, every year someone was killed, but it seemed like they were the personality, different people, but their personalities were so large and so charismatic and fun that, those were gaping holes left.
I think if you want to go down that road, you've got to put Justin Wilson in that group too, just in terms of the way he was admired as a human being.
Yeah. Also very sad, and only race that I was ever at that actually witnessed someone, and that was Pocono that year we were there. But gosh, it's
now those are hard days.
Yeah,
I've experienced. Comparatively, I grew up wanting to be a racing journalist, and I saw what these guys experienced in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. And, I'm happy that the generations of racing that I've gotten to cover have been considerably safer, but these days still they happen, and they will continue to happen. And thankfully they're much rarer and more spread out than they used to be.
Well, one of the things I like about the book, you kind of bring us through the beginning. You bring us through generationally, and in there's a line. I think you quote. You said that for drivers back in the day, 40s, 50s, they didn't get to grow up and see their kids grow up. They didn't get to live to see their kids grow up.
Yeah, it was Wally Dallenbach. It was actually Wally Dallenbach who said that. Yeah,
and I did not know. I mean, again, I was a kid when I first started watching IndyCar. 69, my first race on the radio, I was a kid. First race in person, 82. I had no idea in the background how much Wally Dallenbach made a difference in IndyCar race. I mean, I was astonished to see all the things that Dallenbach was involved in. I'm so glad that you brought that out because for me, that was educational.
Well, the theme to this book is that these guys, Franchitti, Castroneves, Montoya, Kanaan, etc., they were as important a generation for IndyCar racing as the so-called greatest generation was. And we think of that as AJ and Mario and the Unser brothers. And statistically, you have to put Gordon John Cock and John Rutherford in there. But Wally, he raced with that group. He won a handful of races. He finished second in the championship in the mid-70s.
Mm-hmm.
The influence that Wally had continued for another 30 years. As the chief steward for CART throughout the 80s and 90s, and they found it impossible to replace him. And he ended up honestly staying on in that job till 2004 or so. And Wally is he's one of the great men and one of the great people of racing, of the last half century.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, as much as I revere AJ and Mario and those guys, Wally is equally important in the role that he's played in shaping the sport, because he was the chief steward in '99 throughout the late '90s. So he was the wise voice mentoring these young drivers. And I think you can see the product of his labor and just the professionalism and the success that guys like Franchitti and Castroneves had.
John, hold that thought for just a second. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Pits Are Open. Will Marotti. This next segment is brought to you by America's Christian Credit Union. If you're looking for a smart, faith-aligned way to grow your savings, listen up. Right now, America's Christian Credit Union is offering a 12-month certificate rate, highest in the nation, 4.5%, limited time offer for new members only. Deposits up to $1 million. You can get started for as little as $1,000. It's a term share certificate, similar to a CD, but with emissions. So don't wait. Lock the rate in before it drops. Go to americaschristiancu.com/pits. Again, americaschristiancu.com/pits to get started, and you'll be there today. All right. Again, welcome back. We've got John Oryevich with us, the author of Indy Split and his latest work, another soon-to-be classic, Class of '99. I thought it was also amazing the way you kind of salted in references to the split. You mentioned at one point, I think it was you that mentioned it at one point, that you got to have your stuff together. You got to have your act together, car, driver, and we didn't. And
that was actually Mario Andretti who said those words. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I'll get it right. I'll read it.
I'm always very happy to let other people make my point.
Right. Well,
especially when they have the gravitas of Mario.
Well, it's a great point. And, again, I wonder if that there's a shift. I think there's an opportunity here. NASCAR certainly took advantage of it. They did all the right things. Now it looks like they're doing a lot of the wrong things, talking about big changes. I don't know. And it won't turn around overnight. I mean, this has been years in the making between stage racing and playoffs and winner take all. They could change everything tomorrow and go back to, 2006, but it's not gonna just turn around like that. And I don't think the fans are going to respond as quickly as they would hope. So I'm not sure what the future bodes, but I do think there's a great opportunity, and I think IndyCar is a great product right now. I mean, again, we don't have a car. That would be nice. But I just feel with the Fox.
IndyCar is kind of like the opposite of Greg Moore. The more you know about Greg Moore, the more the less you know about IndyCar now, the more appealing it might be compared to those of you who have maybe followed it and understood and realized how great it was, at least on the CART side in 1999.
Yeah. It was just.
And I think it's important, Will. I want to point out that the politics are absolutely not the story of this book.
Right.
It pops up every now and then, but it is not the intent of this book to play up, politicize anything. This is about celebrating a group of young drivers who went on to have a great influence in what constitutes modern IndyCar racing. And of course, how we got to modern IndyCar racing, you can't ignore the politics and everything, but
Sure.
it's not central to this story.
And as I said, lightly salted. I didn't feel like it was
You
dominant.
can't
or
avoid it
or
because
you
it was
overdid
always
it.
kind of simmering in the background like
Sure.
a pot of spaghetti sauce
Sure.
on the stove.
You know,
that you-
something that was mentioned, and I don't want to focus on this, but I'm curious about it. The Dan Gurney white paper, is that still available? I mean, can you find that?
It's
I mean,
online if you look hard
it's
enough.
online. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm sure if you just type Dan Gurney white paper, it'll pop up.
Okay, we're Chat GPT. So again, I really enjoyed the fact, and I think you set it up well that you gave us you talk about the greatest generation. You went through those stories. You went through all of the champions. You know, those are when I was liking IndyCar in the late '60s, early '70s. Those are all the guys that I was like, they were my heroes. And so
And significantly, they were still the heroes as far as the early '90s.
'90s, I know, right?
know?
What a run! But I think you did a great job of getting us ready for the class of '98, the next generation, by setting the history of what the previous generation was. And
Yeah, and you have to acknowledge the kind of lost generation, the group that never really gained traction. Yeah, we're talking Bobby Rahal, Rick Mears. Rick retired so young. I mean, he only ran 14 years full time. And the same with Bobby. Bobby, arrived fairly late in his career and everything. But Michael Andretti and Al Jr. are probably the key guys that kind of lost some of their public mojo because of the split, and as well as key years that they weren't able to run the Indy 500. And that's, another thing, if you think about some of the guys that are celebrated in this book, Alex Zanardi, Greg Moore,
Right.
Mark Blundell, these guys never ran the Indy 500, and they were great oval track racers.
Yeah, I made note of that as I was reading it. I also thought it was pretty amazing when you think about how the previous generation lasted so long. And to your point, the other guys, they were coming in, but was it really the split that took some of the fame away from Michael Andretti, some of the fame from Al Unser? I mean, Al Unser won 2 500s. Michael obviously didn't, but won championships and had a bad run in F1. But I mean, I just feel like I feel like Al came out of it with more legendary status than Michael did. Oh, even though Michael, forget about his dad, Michael had a pretty good career, just standalone. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's a tough one because part of the reason those guys didn't connect with the public was just who they were. They didn't have the vivid personalities that AJ and Mario did, that Bobby Unser did.
Right.
You know,
can
Michael,
see that. You can see that Bobby was a talker. Bobby Al Senior not as much. Al Junior even less. So it kind of
and Michael was never particularly media or fan friendly. And Rick, I think he had kind of a Penske stigma working against him at times. And Rick never made waves. I mean, Rick was always, straight down the middle, consummate professional, don't ruffle feathers. So Rick, as much as he was admired and loved, I don't think he incited the same kind of passion that guys had for Mario and AJ.
Right.
And the guys that came in, Zanardi kind of came and went before he had a really chance to latch on here. Zanardi was the first guy that really had a vivid personality. Certainly the first foreigner that came in with a big personality that caught on, maybe since Emerson Fittipaldi in that regard. And the rest of these guys, Franchitti just had an aura about him. The young Brazilians, I mean, they were green behind the ears when they got over here, Castroneves and Canan. They couldn't speak a lick of English.
Sure.
And, they're out there trying to ride bicycles around Columbus, Ohio in the dead of winter just because they didn't know any better. And it's amazing that these are the guys that developed into, I mean, look how mainstream Elio and Tony are now.
Amazing. Amazing, yeah. And both, I mean, Elio buying into Meyer Shank as a partner, Kanan's, I don't know what, president of McLaren. I don't know what he is. Oh, he's something. I mean, it's amazing.
He's the team principal, whatever
team
that
principal.
is.
Okay, a little European flair there. But I'm happy for these guys that they didn't just fade away, but they're staying involved.
And Frank Eady's part of the scene. He's
sure.
He's an advisor for the Ganassi team, and he's had a big part in the success of guys like Felix Rosenquist and Alex Pillow. Montoya is really the guy that doesn't have a connection to it, but he's got a young son that's coming up the European ladder that's racing in Formula 2, and Juan's pretty instrumental in his career. But he did come out of retirement to grant an interview for the book, so that was nice of him.
That's good. I see Enzo Fittipaldi, yet another Fittipaldi, signing a Indy Next contract. He'll be coming out this year, so I don't know if he'll, I guess he must be a nephew of Emerson.
I think he's a grandson
of Emerson. So we'll see. We'll see if that DNA carried along down the stream. I don't know. Hey, what did you think about Marco retiring? Not a surprise because nobody expected it, but not really a surprise based on recent performance.
Well, I mean, Marco hasn't run full time for several years now.
Yeah.
And I mean, the surprise for me is the magnitude of the hero's send-off he's being given. I mean, it seems like everybody out of the woodwork is coming out to congratulate this guy on his dominating championship career. And that kind of gave me a little chuckle, but I think Marco's very much at peace with his life these days. I think it had to be hard to be Marco Andretti, just as it had to have been hard to be Michael Andretti. And Michael, very much the same, seems at peace with who he is now. And so I'm happy for the family in that regard.
Do you think some of the admiration and send off that Marco's getting really is family? It's the family name. I mean, we're not going to have an Andretti. I mean, we didn't have a couple years when Mario was doing F1, but I mean, gosh, since '69, there's been an Andretti there pretty much, maybe missing 2 years of all that time, 3 years that we didn't have an Andretti in the race.
Yeah, as Mario would say, no question. It's Marco maximized the opportunities he was given. And, I think he should have won a few more races.
Yeah.
I think that there were several races he deserved to win more than the one he did win at Sonoma when he was kind of gifted a win by Brian Herta.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Marco, you have to question whether ever really mentally recovered from losing the 06 Indy 500.
Well, and I was just going to bring that up. I had J.R. Hildebrand on a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even bring it up because I can't imagine the struggle there. Didn't bring it up with him, but we were there. First time I took my wife into going to 500 was 2011, and she was visibly upset by the fact. How different would J.R. Hildebrand's career have won if he made that one more corner? How different would Marco's career have been if he had passed, if his Hornish had been, a half a car behind him? I mean, it's a career maker, right? Or it's a career killer, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think it's a career killer. I don't think it killed either of their careers. I think in JR's case, I don't think Panther Racing was by any means a premium team by the time he was driving for them. But obviously it's, if that's what you're most famous for, it doesn't go away. It's like the internet. It's permanent ink,
Sure. Well, I mean, I feel that way about Connor Zilic. Connor goes to Cup. Connor should be going to say he's an Xfinity champion. And he's not. He's just a guy that won some races, right? And I feel like it's the same kind of thing. You're always going to be, whether it's your only win, right? You're always going to be an Indy 500 champion, and that's got to open doors for you. It has to open opportunities for you. Whether or not you take advantage of it is a different question, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, you got to question what it's done for Buddy Lazier or Buddy Rice.
Well, again, but those are off year. I mean, I feel bad for both of them because. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. The thing was.
Or Eddie Cheever. I mean, the only thing that did was it made Rachel's potato chips famous.
Yeah, it was good for that. Oh boy, John, we are out of time, so we didn't even touch really the whole the whole book. So I hope that you'll come back in the not too distant future, and we could do part 2. We'll have to put a semicolon here. Come back and do part 2. This is a great book, available now, class of '99. I'll be bringing this to PRI, hoping for an autograph, by the way. So I hope to see you out there. And just a marvelous book, and brought back so many memories. And again, like the Wally Downbeck story is just fabulous education. So I want to encourage you guys to go to Amazon, get this book. It's well done. John, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming back on.
Well, thanks, Will. I spent a couple minutes on the last Sunday of October at the site of the former California Speedway, and it brought a lot of the emotions back that cemented everything that I've done over the last couple of years working on the book. So thanks, and we'll talk again. All
right, thanks. I really appreciate it. John Arevich, everybody. All right. Hey, we're going to take a break real quick. We're a little bit behind schedule. That's all right. We're going to get there. This segment brought to you by Schaefer Oil. Let's see. Schaefer Manufacturing, America's trusted leader in oils and lubricants since 1839. If you want maximum performance and protection for your engine, fleets, or equipment, Schaefer delivers. Their advanced lubricants reduce friction, run cleaner, last longer, saving you money with fewer breakdowns and less downtime. That's why professionals in trucking, farming, racing, and industry all turn to Schaefer. So don't settle for average. Give your engine the premium care it deserves. Learn more at SchaeferOil.com. All right, hey, welcome back. Pits are open. Will Murata, your host. Alex Smith, our beloved engineer and producer. And I put something out on social media this morning about some news we're going to share. And I mean this sincerely, so honored for our next guest to be with us. He is the CEO, managing partner of Speed Sport. And he's got a lot of years in the business, and quite an effective journalist in his own right, and an effective CEO in his own right. CEO of Speed Sport, Joe Tripp, is our guest right now.
Hey guys, well, that was quite the introduction.
How are you? How you doing?
Flatter me, my hat got tighter.
I was gonna say I like your hat. That's good.
This is a vintage Speed Sport 1 hat. It's the original square iteration of.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. That's cool.
I'm kind of a nostalgic guy. I can't throw stuff away.
No, I'm the same way. I got shelves full of hats in my office at home. Tell us, so what's new? What's new in Speed Sport? What's new in Speed Sport 1, Speed Sport 2? You guys got a lot of coverage. You got a lot of things a lot of live events that you've been offering. What's new in Speed Sport world?
Well, I think, our primary focus this last couple of years has been on ramping up Speed Sport 1, our free ad-supported TV network. This has been a breakout year for us. We've had a stellar year on most of the major, streaming platforms, and some great content partners. Really are, the foundation of our system is all of our streaming partners on the grassroots side through our streaming network. So WSOTA, IMCA, ASA, just tons of great, grassroots short track racing makes up sort of the core. Mm-hmm. And we do some different things to package that content to shine the spotlight back on those tracks and promoters. And then this year we started our partnership with Trans Am. So we've broadcast all of their events, which has been just fantastic. Just amazing racing. And I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Trans Am. Just big horsepower, limited technology. They're just beasts to drive, and amazing racing. And the support class, the TA2 class, big car count, super competitive. A lot of young rock stars in the making coming up through that class, and then going on to be superstars in NASCAR. So that's been a really exciting partnership. And then in July we started our multi-year deal with IHRA. Mm-hmm. And for those who haven't been following, IHRA is on the rebound, a huge resurgence with a gentleman named Daryl Cuttle of Durant Hybrid came in and acquired IHRA, and he's invested literally millions of dollars in acquiring tracks and improving them and acquiring other series besides just drag racing. So we'll be announcing a lot of the details of that more at PRI, but suffice it to say that his vision for IHRA is to be much more than just a drag racing series. So some very exciting things happening there. So it's been a very busy year, a lot of live broadcasts. I don't have a tally on how many hours we've done live, but pretty much every weekend we've got something going on live. This weekend I start, our team will start managing live and this isn't our grassroots stuff. This is actually the TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be live almost all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with IHRA qualifying on Friday. Then we have our own open wheel showdown, Davey Hamilton Jr.'s event at the Bull Ring in Vegas. So we'll have Friday night features. We're calling it live on Friday night at 9:30 Eastern time on Speed Sport 1. And that will wrap up with the super exciting pole shuffle, they call it, for the Saturday main event. And then on Saturday, you can jump over on Speed Sport 2 and watch that event there. And then we'll have the IHRA finals live on Speed Sport 1 Saturday, starting at 2 o'clock Eastern, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then we're working on, I can't announce it, we haven't finalized the deal. Let me look at my email here real quick, Will. But I think we will have some historic sports car racing live on Sunday.
Okay. Just
sort of popped up, and a friend asked if we could take it, and we're working on that right now. So, but typical weekend for me is, and my team is generally Thursday through Sunday. We're doing something live, and a lot of times it's a lot of hours, but it's exciting. And those live sports is what drives the eyeballs, and eyeballs is what makes our business work on the TV side.
I think there's a tremendous opportunity for IHRA. I think I almost feel NHRA is a little oversaturated at this point, and I think there's a lot of folks like we've had on several times. Megan Meyer, two-time NHRA champion. Mm-hmm. She's been moving into IHRA with some of her competition.
Oh yeah, we've seen her.
I think there's a great opportunity for that, and I watched some of the races, and I tell you, I enjoy it. But I'll tell you what I enjoy the most. What I enjoy the most is Trans Am, because that was the first professional race I ever saw. My dad took me to 1968 Trans Am at Lime Rock. And so, like you, I have a real dear, fond, soft spot for Trans Am racing, and anytime I can see it. And that's what's so great about what you're doing. But it's sometimes it's hard to see some of these series. You don't know where they're being broadcast. You don't know if you can watch them at all, or maybe you got to go to the series website and get it. So if people want to get Speed Sport 1, tell us how do they do it? Where it's available on the fast channels, right? And those are places like Sling, like
Amazon,
Roku.
Amazon Prime, the Roku channel, Sling, Fubo, and then a bunch of the other ones. The easiest way to get Speed Sport 1, if you have one of those platforms, go to Live TV and or just search for the channel and you should find it. But we have step-by-step instructions for each platform at speedsport1.com. And if you go to that website and just click on how to watch, I think it's how to watch or how to get, it'll go through each platform that we have. And all of them are free except Fubo is a cable, kind of like YouTube TV. There is but we're on there, but all the rest of them are free. And you just, it's ad supported. So there's commercials, and we run a pretty light commercial load. So it's not going to be as frustrating as watching the big networks. And it seems like there's more commercials than we're all about the racing. For sure. So,
hey, Joe, hold that thought for one moment. We're going to take a quick break.
Hey.
We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Don't go away. All right. Hey, welcome back. Pits are open. Will Marotti, our guest, Joe Tripp. I want to talk to you about a very special partner we have. So this segment is brought to you by Speed Sport. Racing fans, if you want to stay plugged into the action, there's only one place to go, speedsport.com, speedsport1.com. Breaking news, in-depth features, live coverage, events across every form of motorsports. Speed Sport is your all-access pass, whether it's NASCAR, dirt track, Drag Strip Speed Sport brings the stories, the highlights, the drama right to you. So don't miss a lap. Visit speedsport.one. Tune in at .com. Tune in at speedsport1.com for your home everything in racing. All right, welcome back. Pits are open. Will Murata, your host. Joe Tripp, our special guest, CEO of Speed Sport. I don't want to be premature, Joe, but I did put out an announcement on our social media channels this morning that there'd be an announcement made here this afternoon about something that we're going to do together. Would you share that with the folks?
Yeah, well, I know it's been a project we've been working on for quite a while, and I'm really thrilled to do this with you, Will. I have a lot of respect for you. We've had a lot of adventures and chased a lot of things over the years, and I think we'll continue to do that. But what you've done with this show is great, and you bring a certain perspective to not just the news, but the people behind it. You know, it's good stuff. And I think the thought that I was going to have just before we went to break was we were talking about Trans Am and you know, really how Speed Sport 1 has evolved is really what we call the Great American Motorsports Channel. Mm-hmm. And what we, you know, at our core is presenting great grassroots racing and great domestic racing and showcasing that on as big a platform as we possibly can. So that's why we love Trans Am. That's why we love IHRA. That's why we love IMCA and WSOTA and all that, because it's just great American racing, right? And it doesn't mean that we may not go kind of international at some point with another Speed Sport 1 international version, but for Speed Sport 1, the mothership, it's really rewarding to see our brand, you know, that I got stewardship from the Economackies, Ralph and I did, and be able to see it manifest in really, like I said, a great American motorsports channel. And that's why Trans Am is such a great fit. IHRA is a great fit. We have the Mid 400, which is the greatest American, you know, off-road race. It's just that makes me proud, is seeing how that takes shape. And what we're going to announce at PRI is going to bolster that even further. And you're a great American motorsports fan, a great pastor, and a great friend. And so I'm excited to announce that we're going to add to our portfolio by bringing this show to prime time on Speed Sport 1 starting next Thursday.
Yes.
Next Thursday at 6:00 p.m. Eastern time.
I hear him cheering all the way from Peoria. I can't tell you how excited we are, how grateful we are that you're going to give us this opportunity, Joe. I mean, this is, you know, I've been a racing fan my whole entire life. Before I was a pastor, before I was a husband, before I was a father, before I was anything, I was a racing fan. And to think that the iconic brand of Speed Sport is something that will be included in it's overwhelming. It's such an honor, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the chance and the trust, and wow, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal, and so we thank you so much.
Well, I thank you for putting it all together and making it happen. And we've got a good. The timing is great. We are 100% focused on making this work for you and for us. And you know, the conversation as we get into November really focuses on. There's a lot of news in the racing industry. The business championships have been won or are being finished up. So there's a lot of great things to talk about, and I know you'll bring some great guests to the table and have some really interesting topics. And you know, I think the fact that we're delivering it to a pretty broad audience helps the casual race fan, you know, understand all those storylines, and I think it helps in general get them engaged in and maybe coming to the racetrack, you know, or at least watching. But at the end of the day, we want people's butts in the stands.
Sure.
You know, that's what keeps our business thriving. And so I commend you for what you've built from nothing. And I'm excited to see how it plays out. So looking forward to episode 1. Do you have, can you announce who your guest is going to be yet?
Not confirmed yet. Soon to
Okay.
be confirmed. Hopefully by tomorrow. So,
All right, we're going to come out of the gate strong, right? It's
we
not going to
will
be
absolutely. Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
me again, just so everybody
No.
knows.
You'll be very happy with who we bring for
That's great.
episode 1. Let's talk a little bit about PRI. You guys are there every year. First time ever, we're going to be there. We're going to set up a booth. We're going to be doing some broadcasting. I hope that we can get you to come on by the Pitzer Open booth and give us some words of wisdom and maybe grab Ralph too. And we've got some guests already lined up. We're going to be very close to the NHRA stage, so we're going to get some NHRA people already. I'm told Matt Hagan's going to be there. Ida Zetterstrom's going to be there. Megan Meyer's going to be there. And so we're hopefully going to have a good array of guests. And also some drivers signing autographs. So it'd be a good time to get fans to come by and stop by.
No, it's a great. I mean, we've had my PRI relationship goes back to my Speed Channel days when going to Orlando, when it was down there, and but Speed Sport has been involved in PRI for before we were involved, and we've gone from a little 10-foot booth to our 40-foot big footprint with a stage and a gigantic monitor wall and all the things that go with that. It's the one time a year where everybody can. It's like in the old days, the trappers would all go down to St. Louis for rendezvous, right? It's really, that's what it is. Everybody brings their pelts and trades their wares and starts working on deals for next year, and we love it. I love Indianapolis. I love the people. I love PRI as a group. They're fantastic. Michael Good does a phenomenal job with it. And, we have somewhat of a strategic relationship with PRI too. Ralph hosts the breakfast, and we do a lot of things to help each other out and just something to look forward to every year, and it always does catch me off guard though, because we start booking hotels in May, and then next thing I know, it's November. Well, what is today? November 4th, and I'm looking at my checklist, and it's about as long as Santa Claus's list on what I had to do to get ready. But we'll be there, and we're excited about it. We're in booth 4339, which is in the middle of the yellow hall. Mm-hmm. Can't miss us. Just look for the big red Speed Sport sign hanging from the ceiling. We used to be out front by the hot dog stand, and we got tired of people eating their hot dog and pizza in our booth, so we moved back to the middle. But IHRA will have a huge presence there.
Oh, good.
Most of our content partners have a presence at PRI because it's important to them, and it's the one place where you can really go and do it all and get some business done.
Well, I'm grateful. We're assembling a team. I like to roam, and I like to talk with folks and connect with folks, and so I didn't want to be strapped to the booth for 3 days. And so we're putting a really good team of folks that are going to be working with us and helping us. And so we're excited about it. We're in 6048. So just go find the NHRA stage, and we're right across the hall there. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. But again, I can't say thank you enough, Joe, for giving us this opportunity to be on Speed Sport 1. It's the greatest thing that's happened to the show since our very first opening. And we're going to work really hard. We're going to work hard at really developing a great audience with you. And gosh, it's going to be so much fun. We're just so thankful, so grateful for your trust in this opportunity.
My pleasure, buddy. And look forward to seeing that premiere. And obviously, we'll roll up our sleeves here and get the promos going and market it. And we'll just build from there. Got to start somewhere.
Sure. And we're looking forward to it. Well, listen, thanks again for taking time out. Really appreciate it. And if I don't see you before, I'll see you at PRI, and we'll have to go get something to eat or something when we're out there, and have you stop by the booth and do a little interview for us as well.
We will for sure. Thank you again for everything, Will, and thanks to your audience for tuning in. And if they make it to PRI, make sure they come by after they see you. Come by our booth, and we might have some free goodies to hand out.
All right, Joe Tripp, everybody, Will. Speed Sport. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy. See you.
All right, we're going to draw it to a close. This is our last live show because of the timing of Speed Sport. We have to do some editing, so we will not be coming to you live next week. We'll be coming to you next Thursday. You can look for us on Speed Sport 1. Check the listings. and we'll still be recording around the same time, but it won't be live. We will be putting the show out. By the way, I should say this: once we air the program on Speed Sport on Thursdays, we will be coming out on our social media channels very soon after that. And Speed Sport will probably do a replay or two on the weekend as well. So you'll still be able to see us on YouTube. So please go there and sign up on our YouTube channel, Pits Are Open Podcast, YouTube. Go to our website, The Pits Are Open. Please sign up for our newsletter. Gives you all the information, gives you where we're going to be, how you can watch us, and we're excited about it. So thank you so much. Alex, you're doing a great job. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this position. Joe Tripp, thank you again for the wonderful opportunity you're giving us. Thank you to John Orievich for the great book. I want to encourage you to, again, go out, order this, Class of 99. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And, so again, our last live broadcast next Thursday. What is that date anyway? Is that the I should know this, right? I should know what day this is. It is our show.
It's the 14th.
Next Thursday is the 13th.
13th, okay.
So we will be on Speed Sport 1 on the 13th for the first time, and we can't wait for that. So listen, we appreciate you guys. Please share this show with your friends, relatives, associates, and neighbors. And we are looking forward to continuing with some great programming and great guests like we had today, bringing it to you every week. So thank you so much. Hey, have a good rest of your week. God bless you guys. Please like. If you're on Facebook right now, please like and share this. If you're on YouTube, please comment. Please subscribe. And any other platform, please like and share. Hey, have a great rest of your week. God bless you. We love you. And we'll see you next week on Speed Sport 1.
That's a wrap. How'd that feel?
That's pretty cool. He did a great build-up. I didn't know he was going to say it.
Is he gonna say what I think he's gonna say? Is he